2024 is going to be a difficult and interesting year for us. I think that folks are going to hold on to things a little bit. They're going to wait and see what happens. There's just a whole umbrella of ways of getting your brand and your business out there for people to see, to use, and to enjoy.
Thank you so much, Erica, for being here today. It is such a pleasure to have you, and I would love for you to just dive into your journey, how you got right here today.
So, first, my name is Arica Netterville. I'm the business development manager and marketing manager for Suites Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and ambassador to the Denver Metro Chamber and advocate to the Better Business Bureau. In my current position is really exciting. It tells the story of how I got where I'm at today, but that story starts 27 years ago. I was a young lady, 21, and I was setting in a air conditioning company in Clearwater, Florida. And I was just a receptionist. I had just joined the team, and it was the first company that I worked for heating, cooling, plumbing. And I had no expectations. I didn't know where my journey was going, where my path was going to lead. And I probably had been there about 6 months. And the owner, I would always see him in the hallway, like listening to me on the phones. And I would sell maintenance agreements. I would close estimates. I would dig deeper in the call and get age of home, age of equipment, what's going on. And I got all the details. So he comes to me one Thursday evening. I'm clearing up my desk to go home. It's about 5 o'clock. And he's like, I got some exciting news for you. I was like, really? It's like, well, what's that?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to send you over to Orlando, all expense paid for a week, and you're going to go to an HVAC sales class. And I was like, oh, really? And at that time, I was married to my first husband. I was like, well, can my husband come with me? We could kind of make it a trip.
Yeah.
And he's like, sure. Yeah. So he got us a really wonderful hotel, and the class was 6 hours a day. So before the class and after the class, we were able to go sightseeing and have fun and all that stuff. But I went through the course and got a 99.9 on my test. And I came back to the office that following Monday, a week later. And I just started using the stuff that I learned. And I was selling so much more and selling and selling and selling. And finally, he moved me out of reception and made me his maintenance coordinator. And the 5 years that I was there, I had that built up to $550,000. Some of that was through monthly billing, some of that was through yearly billing, however the customer wanted to pay for their maintenance. I really loved the monthly portion of it because it's just a continuous stream of money coming into the business. And he was buying new trucks and expanding his business, all on what I had learned how to do. So the wheels of fate started to turn, and I went to different classes and night school and training classes and seminars and self-taught some of the stuff. And as I learned and growed in my career, I got married to different husbands and moving around the country, working in the Atlanta market, working in the Denver market, working in the New Orleans market, Orlando, Tampa. They're such aggressive markets to work in. You have to be on your game. You have to be a connector. You have to be able to get your business or your brand or whatever it is that you're pushing in front of the right people. So in that interim of working in those different major metro cities, I always got attached with a chamber or the Better Business Bureau or a networking event that helped propel me. So as I kept going to different heights, I went from office manager, general manager, operations manager, marketing manager, business development, and just kept propelling and propelling myself. And we had lived in Denver before, and I just fell in love with the city. And I was so happy here. And my third husband was not, and he wanted to go back home. So we went back home, and I worked back in that market again in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. And that's when it really started to change for me. I was about 35, 37, somewhere in that range. And I think it's really true what they say. Age does bring wisdom.
Yeah.
Now in my position, I really see that. As you get a little bit older, people more so trust what you're saying. They're able to understand. You're more knowledgeable in the brand or the product or whatever it is that you're selling or pushing or marketing. And through all that, I just got this experience, this depth of knowledge and marketing. And through all that, I'm used multiple different methods in my marketing job now. And those could be chamber events, network events, direct mail, old school going into businesses with a bag and a little duck. Squeaks Plumbing, Heating, Cooling. Our logo is a little duck. And it's just really turned into this whole new position. When I joined them about a year and a half ago, I came in as call center manager and developed that staff, created the culture, hired so many different wonderful individuals, whether it would be a CSR or dispatcher. And I even helped in recruiting some of the plumbers and HVAC techs. Once all of that was kind of set, I was able to step back and say, okay, we've got management, we've got staff, everybody's in their places. Now I can go into my real position, which is business development and marketing, and I'm just slaying and killing it. So some of those great things that you want to implement in your business, let's just take direct mail marketing. So if you're going to work in a city that's either the city that you live in or the surrounding metro city, here's some really great tips for your business. Direct mail marketing through USPS, you can zone in on a zip code, a city, an area that you really want to saturate, dominate. And alongside the direct mail, you stay really focused in that city. So everybody in that zip code's getting your flyer or your promotional material. And then you go into that community and you go into businesses and there's a product that you want to pop in or a promotional item that's got your branding on it. That's the first foot in the door. And you go in with a smile and you have that engagement and that connection. 9 times out of 10, unless there's an immediate service need or you were just at the right place at the right time, it takes a little bit of time for your ROI to come in on that. So something that you're doing in this month, you might not see that return for 2 or 3 months, or when their urinal's plugged up, or their drain is backed up, or there's no heat, or the water heater's leaking in their business or their home, and then they're calling. So if you throw enough seeds, you're going to have all these different buds sprouting up, all different kinds of avenues, all different kind of ways. And so the direct marketing and the old school walking in, passing out a business card or a promotional item still works to this day. But there's more layers to that. And that could be going to networking events. Depending on what your business is, you want to go to home shows, you want to go to whatever that industry that you're in. And that could be a technology show, it could be an air pollution show, whatever it is that your brand and your business is, there's an avenue that you can take to explore that, to promote that, to connect with other business owners about that. 2024 is going to be a difficult and interesting year for us. And you and I had this conversation at a meeting a couple weeks ago that I think that folks are going to hold on to things a little bit. They're going to wait and see what happens. Yeah, we know that water heater might be on its last leg, but I'm going to try to limp through until we know there's some kind of certainty. And then I'll loosen up the purse and pull out the credit card and, make those larger purchases. Sometimes there's things that happen that are unavoidable, and you come home on a cold winter's night and there's no furnace, then you have to move forward with that instead of limping along. Squeaks Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, we have different finance options. So there's an avenue to go if that unfortunately happens and you have to move fast in this year. But what I would tell you is to network, to get out there and really engage customers, businesses, other businesses partnering up, depending on what your industry that you're in is. There's all different kinds of avenues that you can go to. Community events are a great way to spotlight your business. markets, holiday markets, bazaars, crafts.
Yeah.
There's just a whole umbrella of ways of getting your brand and your business out there for people to see, to use, and to enjoy. There is a whole slew of things coming up for 2024 for us, which is really exciting. We're
Very
going to be
exciting.
doing the Denver Home Show. It's a 9-day show. So we're really gearing up,
Yeah.
our checklist. What do we need
Yes.
for the booth and the setup?
Mhm.
And really just being focused and driven in that. And then in March, we have another home show with HGTV at the Western Complex. And we're really excited about that. Denver 7 is going to come in and partner up with us for that as well. So we're really excited about that. And then remember, old school style still works. So an ad in a magazine, an ad in a newspaper. If you have community events that your employees, their children might be involved in, use some of those resources. You have people working in your office that can help benefit your business as well and get your brand out. Schools, churches, there's so many different ways that you can promote your business and help folks that, either need what you're offering or your usages, whether it's marketing or sales or whatever industry that you might be in.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you are such a wealth of knowledge. I'm like, I want to unpack it all because I think you're right. The old school way of marketing works. And I mean, my husband and I go door to door for solar, being able to just make that contact with people that in person, there's nothing like that. And I know you're so good at that. And I'm so glad you outlined that so beautifully of all the tactics you can do and the mailing. We didn't even think of that until we were talking about it a few weeks ago. I was like, we got to do that because it's just being able to be top of mind. And no matter what business it is, it's just being able to continue to foster those relationships, especially networking. I think that's number one. I mean, that's how we met, but also just being able to know what's out in the community and being able to use your resources of the people that are working for you. If you are trying to grow your business, how you can really leverage the people that are really good at certain things. And you're so good at business development and marketing. And I know you have so much history, so much background with business. I know you also had a podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I know there's so many people that are in business that are starting their own podcasts that would love to learn from you.
There's two different topics we'll talk about on podcasts today. The first one is I had the #1 podcast in Atlanta for 2018 and 2019. It was so incredible through my activism. I was awarded by the state. Stacey Abrams presented on stage with that award. Even to this day, I will still go and look at it occasionally, her photos. There is one photo that is so amazing. President Barack Obama was sitting in the audience that night, and the hair on my arms was just like standing up. It was electric. And there was so many incredible people in that building that night for that podcast award and different types of awards that they were doing. It was called Best of Atlanta. So I had some really incredible guests on my show from all different walks of life and different paths and businesses and all kinds of entertainment and really exciting guests. And Atlanta is a very colorful city, so I will say that. And there were people from all walks of life. I had a really good partnership with Metro. And so we would talk about health, we would talk about knowing your status in HIV and all of those different things that go on. Also, prenatal safety and knowing all that was good. So there would be show directors, event coordinators. We even had some drag queens on our show, which was really exciting. So it was just so articulate. There was such diversity. There were so many great people on the show. We had done 250 episodes, and I was proud of the body of work and promoting that via YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. TikTok wasn't here yet, but TikTok is a great platform for your businesses. It's a great way to get on there and just really spotlight whatever you're doing. Once you get that engagement with your fans and your base, it could just propel your business or your brand or your podcast or whatever it is that you're doing to a whole new height. So we're even going to be doing a podcast through Squeaks Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, a little bit different. We're going to talk about the industry in plumbing and heating and cooling. So that'll be really exciting. But yeah, just that connection, meeting incredible people and diving into their history and their background and their journey, where, how, who, and what led you to the seat today is really exciting. So unpacking all that is really fun. And then it kind of makes you think about, some of the past shows, and then you think about what you want to do in the future and kind of where you're going. We as humans, we're always in movement. You're always growing, learning, developing, and everybody has the right to learn and grow and become who they want to be, whatever that is, in life or business or their branding.
I believe that it's the evolution of humans, right?
Absolutely.
We never stay stagnant. Even if we try to stay stagnant, everything around us will change. So we might as well just evolve with it, right?
Yeah.
But it's easier said than done. And I love that you're bringing back a new podcast and being able.
Exciting.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to listen to it. But
I can't wait to have you as a guest on.
I'll take it. But I love all this information that you've already given. You're just such a wealth of knowledge. But what were some of the obstacles while you were doing all these things, the evolution of where you went from managing different companies as well as positions? What were some of those obstacles you had to face?
Yeah, I've been in this business for 25 years.
Yeah.
So 25 years ago, you didn't see women in HVAC. You didn't see women in plumbing. And if they were receptionists or interns or helpers or assistants. And now what's really exciting at Squeaks Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, we're all women management. So our call center admin manager, her name is Janet. She covers the whole office. Everything that's going on in that office, she's dealing with. Our operations manager, Miss Leah, she's handling all the operations and behind the scene. We have a lovely young lady. Her name is Ariana, and she's an account manager. I'm business development and marketing manager. And then again, even with Squeaks in my journey there, I started as call center manager, then I went to GM, then I stepped into business management. 25 years ago, those opportunities were not available. And if you voiced anything in that realm at that time, you were either dismissed or not really taken seriously. There would be conversations I'd call to order a part, and they're like, oh, we'll just put the manager on the phone. I'm like, I am the manager. Let's get this part ordered, and please don't ever speak to me like that again.
And I believe that happened.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's happened to a ton of women in life.
I mean, yes, absolutely. I worked in corporate for a while, but I think it's so amazing to see the transformation of when you started till now and just all the obstacles you had to face just being a woman in the industry, but being able to surpass that and putting people in their place.
And still grow and still stay humble.
Of course.
And, you can't react emotionally in the business world.
No.
The minute you do, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
So you have to strategically step back and say, how do I handle this issue? How do I overcome this scenario? Or do I need to take this to upper management and get another person involved in it because it's larger than me and I don't want blowback on myself? So there's many a times I will stop what I'm doing and say, you know what, Miss Leah, I need a little direction on this. And I've been in this business 25 years. You wouldn't think that I'd need that, but there's things in business that you really have to do to protect yourself and to protect your clients. And those could be your certificate of insurance, your W-9, your licensing, showing that entity, that company, that property manager, that contractor, whatever it is, the company or the person that you're working with, that we are above board and we're going to structure this and we're going to do the right things. And we have all these procedures so that cannot happen. So I'm a really firm, strong believer in that. Management is really important and women's voices are important. We have a female vice president right now of the United States. Did you ever think in our lifetime that someone in that level would be a woman? Hopefully one day we might have a female president. So that would be exciting as well. And then I know at that time, and even with Kamala Harris being our vice president, we've still arrived.
Exactly.
Politically, women can achieve those heights. And the day that we do have a female president, I know we're there. That full 100% equality is there. And that's a big stick that I've kind of used to battle off things that weren't good or people coming at me in a wrong direction all along. So use your armor, use your business savvy. If something's bigger than you, get help and get others involved. I want to switch back to marketing for just a second because I don't want to let that thought go.
Yeah, please.
But you and I had a conversation about your husband's solar business. And we had brought up a couple different marketing tactics. And this is one that I want you guys to know. So say that you are a plumber, a window installation, garage door installation, whatever that service might be that you do for the home. So in that neighborhood, maybe you installed that piece of equipment or you did that service or you installed something in that home. 2425 Wood Street. What you can do is go onto your local assessor, and that could be Denver assessor, it could be New York, whatever that city that you folks live in. You can type in that address. Every single thing in that neighborhood that has been recently purchased will pop up. And so what you can do is we recently installed blah, 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 or we recently serviced your neighbor, blah, blah, blah. And we want to introduce ourselves, which is a great way to get into other homes. Once you've done that, the people that live all in that area, Tammy's going to talk to John, and John's going to talk to Stephanie, and Chris is going to talk to Mark. And another great thing too in that is sometimes the community has a community Facebook page. So getting involved with that, sending out that letter that says we just recently installed this in your neighbor's home, people are going to start clucking about your brand, your business. They're going to Google you. They're going to see what your reviews are. And reviews are so incredibly important. So I want to touch base on that as well. If you do unfortunately get a bad review on Google, there are some steps that you can take. You can have another member of management reach out and own it. We made that mistake. We failed. We did that. And if you take ownership of it, that's the first pivot. The second one is, how do I make it right? What's it going to take to maybe you use this again or to wipe away the hard feeling? With me, I offer a maintenance agreement for the year. And I'm just really transparent. We may have failed, but I want to offer you this. And I would ask for you to take the Google review down. This is something that maybe other companies haven't even thought about doing. But when you take ownership of the issue, the customer is immediately, okay, well, they owned it. And they're more likely to take it down. So being an advocate with the Better Business Bureau, knowing your business rating, trusting the shield, and being able to go to bat to have that review from BBB is a lot easier versus Google reviews. So BBB, if the customer signed the invoice, it doesn't matter what your business is, doesn't matter what you're selling or your product or your brand, if they signed the invoice and you completed the job, the BBB will instantly remove that because whatever that customer said in that review, they paid for that. They accepted that. They went into that agreement. And that's what an invoice is or a proposal is. When the customer signs off on it, that's it. There is no turning back. There's no going back on your word. This is what we're going to do. It's this price. We're offering you service. We took care of it. We put it in. We repaired it. Whatever the scenario may be, you did the work. So then BBB will look at that and immediately remove the view and put your rating back up. So that's another really great thing to protect your business and know your brand. For those who do run your Google, you can email the Google and report it and see 9 times out of 10, they're not going to remove it. Maybe that 10th time you're lucky and they will. So knowing your shield, knowing where your business is at in the social platform is really crucial. And then in your search words, your keywords, and your business branding between your social media, your web pages, everything needs to say the exact same thing. So if you click on your website and about, and that mission statement, that about us, it needs to be vocalized in put through all those search engines and everything match up and link up and be right. When that's done, your organic search and your keywords will help people find you easier, and it'll put you in front of those folks that need your services.
Oh, I'm just like taking all that in.
There's so much. And again, this is 25
Of
years.
course, and that's why I'm so excited to have
So
you.
it wasn't overnight. It
No.
took time to learn. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I had some fails and I had some incredible successes. And I learned and growed from all of those. And that's the biggest thing in life is it's okay to mess up.
Yeah, it's important.
It
I
is.
think that's something I had to learn time and time again
Yeah.
because I hated making a mistake. But
Yeah.
the more I failed, the more I'm like, okay, now I know what to
You
do
learned
next
and
time.
growed from it.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
makes all the difference.
And then it gives you that history to when you see that particular thing starting to happen up with another client or a customer. Ooh, we're going in that wrong direction. Let me back this up before I proceed or say something or do something or email something that's going to either further blow up that situation. So business development and marketing is very important because I'm entrusted and I take it very seriously with the outside appearance of our business. And I always want to be above board. I always want to do the right thing. Back to some of our networking events.
Oh, yeah.
This really tells the tale. For me, I get really excited at those events and there's a lot of energy and the connection with those people is incredible. What really just lets me know I'm in the right place at the right time doing the right thing is when I'm driving from a networking event and a customer calls me and says, Erica, I just met you and you're so great, but my mom's toilet is overflowing on the floor and we need somebody to come out. You have to step back for a second and say, oh my gosh, this person trusts me enough to go into their mother's home and get this repair taken care of. So I really take it seriously. I'm passionate about it. If you're going to get up and do a half-ass job, why? Why even do it? So I would tell you to put in 100% and you will get back 500%. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Trust is really important. If you trust me to do your business, you'll trust me to do your home. If you trust me to do your home, you'll trust me to do your business, and then I might even get lucky and do your mom's house.
Simple as that. No, but I mean, it's based off of your presence and
Yeah.
how you just make everyone feel very welcome. The events that we've met at and continue to go to together, it's just amazing to see you in action and being able to create that community wherever you go. And I think that's a big part of building a business is the community, whether it's online or in person.
Yeah.
It's really being able that trust like no factor
Yeah.
and being top of mind, being able to have the resources of
Yeah.
mailing out whatever it may be, what kind of promotions that you do have for your business,
Yeah.
but continue to just build that relationship. And that I think is a key to everything. I always believe connect first, then business.
Yeah. Larry, our owner at Squeaks Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, he is so passionate about community events. He's passionate about children. We make coloring books, little ducks, kids' t-shirts, and he wants those kids to leave that community event or that barbecue or that 4th of July event, whatever it is that we're doing, happy, excited, and he's looking to the future. That little kid that gets that book might want to grow up and be a plumber, might want to grow up and be an HVAC technician, might want to work in the office. All that can be manifested and created from a coloring book, talking about what different tools are and matching up the right services with whatever's going on in the page. It's just incredible. So he and I work really well together. I'm so proud of the work that we have done and where we're going in our business. It's just super duper exciting. 2024 is explosive.
I feel it already. I know you've already kind of mentioned a few things that are coming in the pipeline, but for your future aspirations, where do you see yourself in the next year, couple years?
Getting more grounded into the community, grounded into community events. I want people in the Denver metro surrounding areas to say, oh my gosh, honey, we came home and the sink is leaking. Call Erica, that girl with the duck. We met her at that event, or we were at that community event. That's kind of where I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere else other than with my Squeaks Plumbing, Heating, Cooling family. It really is a family. The company is so good to us. So my future is there. My future is Denver. My future is the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce, the Better Business Bureau. Me and you having fun and creating all kinds of new things and interactions and seeing you at meetings. Your smile always brights up the room and you have such a beautiful energy to you. And switching gears a little bit, maybe the spiritual part of where my passion comes from is that energy, that exchange of energy. Every day you're meeting different people. Some of that energy is good. Some of that energy, maybe not. You kind of have to pick and choose who you want to invest your energy in. And then at the end of the day, when I come home, my background is Native American. We have all different kinds of things that we do to clear our energy, to reset ourselves. So the next day, I'm ready to be clean slate, take on the task of the day and what needs to be handled, and then have that focus and be able to consistently be manifesting where I want to be at in the year and a half from now. So it's hard being sometimes here because as a marketing person, you're okay, I'm sending this ad out 3 weeks later, I'm gonna get that ROI. You're always in the future in that regard when you're business branding. It is a lot of hard work. It is exhausting. There's days I'm 10 hours in heels and I go home and I just want to collapse, but it's so rewarding. So that's where I get my rewarding from, is making people happy and doing a good job and getting our brand and our business out there.
And that's what it's about. And I'm glad you brought up the spiritual aspect, because I do think it's not just hustling all the time. We have to be grounded so we can show up powerfully in every space we're in and just show up as us, but taking that time to really just reflect and then be able to manifest the things that we do want. But I've been so enjoying this conversation, Arica. Where can people find you? We're going to link everything below, but if you can let us know too.
Squeaks Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We're getting ready to open another new location. So that's going to be so exciting. I can't wait to have you over for coffee at the new location. And then do some piggybacking on both podcasts is there as well. So Squeaks Plumbing Heating, our Facebook, our Instagram, our LinkedIn. We're going to be making a new TikTok account. And then just remember, Rome was not built in a day. So your business model, your business branding, your business marketing, all that takes time. So, and it can be overwhelming and it can be exhausting too, because you want to do so many things, but I'm only one person. I can't do everything. I have a team that helps. And even them helping me, there's still so many things, you know. So that's where you could find me.
I have one more question actually to follow up with that, because marketing, there's so many entities to it. How do you prioritize things? I know you have a team, but just for people listening that might feel overwhelmed, it just kind of popped in my head.
Right. Staying focused. So say you live in Kansas City, your business is in Kansas City. We'll just take that city. You want to dominate that whole area first. And again, getting involved with community events, networking events, chamber events, getting out on the street, a good street team, going out and putting out posters, signage. We have signs when we're doing an installation that push down into the ground, and that has our sign. We're doing an installation provided by. There's so many different ways that you can get your brand out there and what's going to work for your city. Again, zip code direct mail marketing is something that we really use a lot. It really will saturate an area or a zip code or a city that you're wanting to get into. So that's a really great process. And then following that up with working that area. So going into the business in that area, going to community events, going to church. That's a great resource. Your folks at your church, really getting connected into their church community events and just getting yourself embedded with whatever city that you're in, and then Googling community events in that city. So wherever you're living, there's going to be a barbecue, there's going to be a pop-up movie night. We met a guy the other day with an inflatable movie screen, and he goes to big community events and they watch movies in the park or movies in the community. But now he's branching out to where he can do whole presentations out in the yard or out at your parking lot. So he brings this huge inflatable thing and everybody's in the parking lot. Some other things that we recently met too was silent disco.
Yes, I just recently met someone too.
It was incredible. So he's taking it from maybe that nightclub has a noise ordinance. It's in a tight community area and everybody calls all the time in that nightclub. So he can go into a nightclub, everybody's wearing headphones and jamming out to whatever music they like. There's 3 channels on the headset. So if someone's into disco, someone's into EDM, someone's into house music, you can flip through all the different things. So now he's branched that out into huge events. We recently attended the City of Denver event, and there must have been maybe 500 or 600 people in this beautiful warehouse space that they converted into like a gala. How great would it been the person that's sitting at the very back row that was having a hard time listening to the presentation, the speakers, everybody's talking, that gap of room between the stage and that, having a headset on, everybody being plugged into that presentation. So there's so many different incredible new things coming in to either do a presentation about your business on, getting involved in your chamber. Leads connections are great. At our Denver chamber, we have 1445 and Leads Connect twice a month. Speed networking with different business owners. You're in about, I would say 30 to 50 business owners within a course of an hour and a half. Great way to get great connections. And then remember, marketing is about the business, but it's also about you. So the person that you are, what you're presenting, your energy, and then do they like you? Are they calling? So there's a million different things that's all attached to it. And sometimes you feel like you're just juggling. But when all those balls land, you could be really in a beautiful place with all these seeds that you've been throwing all along popping up all around you.
Just gotta water them,
You do. You do.
But it's part of planting it. You plant it, you water it, and then it will grow the way it's supposed to. But thank you so much, Arica, for your beautiful energy, just everything that you embody and just what you are bringing to the table.
Thank you for having me. And I love your platform and I love your shows and so many great connections with incredible people and all around the world. You're like international. So that's like super big. I never got to that level.
You're on your way. You're almost there. But thank you again. I so appreciate you coming on. Just make sure to like, subscribe, comment below. What was the biggest takeaway from Arica today? I'm sure she would love to see that comment, and we'll see you on the next episode.